Hello, and welcome back to the 162 in Arlington podcast. Today, we are going to be doing a spring training check-in. Basically, look at um, all the competitions that are going on, some guys that are standing out so far this spring training, and we want to say thank you to everyone for their support over our early episodes. And yeah, we're going to get into it first with the fifth starter competition, which coming into spring training is between four guys: Kumar Rocker, Jacob Latz, Austin Gomber, and Cal Quantrill. Now, with the way Skip Schumacher and Chris Young are talking, they want Kumar Rocker to win this fifth spot. They do, because they believe in his stuff, which he does have really good stuff. And they believe that he has the most upside, and then to move Latz into the pen would make the bullpen stronger. So I do know why Chris Young and Scoop Schumacher want Rocker to be in the rotation so badly. But for Rocker to win the rotation battle over Jacob Latz, he really has to prove it, because Jacob Latz was really good last year as a starter. He made 8 starts last year, ERA under 3. And ultimately, he always went out there and gave the Rangers a shot to win, which Rocker didn't do that last year. He had starts where he did give the Rangers a shot to win, but he also gave up a lot of blow up starts. Rocker, to me, when I watch him pitch, obviously he needs to add more changeups. I think that's something that everyone's seeing, that it felt like he was only a two-pitch pitcher last year, and that he needs to add more changeups, which it would be a nice third pitch in that arsenal, but also kind of needs to figure out how to pitch, in a sense that I don't understand his thought process to getting hitters out, like how, like how he's gonna get hitters out. Like, it just feels a little bit unorganized, the way he goes about pitching. That's probably just from not having too much experience, and maybe I'm talking out my ass with talking about that, but I think it's ultimately just adding a third pitch will make him better, and he needs to really show that and really show up this spring training to win the job over Latz. Now, talking about Gomber and Quantrill, he kind of was just throwing a lot of meatballs. I don't know how much I love him. I will say with Gomber, he is intriguing. Not really to win the fifth starter competition. I really think it's only between Rocker and Latz. But I think he could be a nice lefty arm in the bullpen, mainly because soft toss and lefties do very well in Globe Life Field. We saw that with Patrick Corbin last year. So, and Gomber's very similar throwing style to Pat Corbin. So I think he could be a nice swing arm for the Rangers in that pen. So that's what's intriguing about him. So what's your thoughts?
Yeah, it really is just between Latz and Rocker. Even if they want Rocker, I've said this before, I really don't believe in him. I think he has the stuff, but like I'm looking at his pitch graphs, and it's like he was all fastball, cutter, slider. Like that's all he had. Just only fastball, slider. Rarely threw anything else. He has a really good curveball, but he doesn't. I'd like to see more speed variance. Like it felt like in some counts that he just go fastball, fastball, fastball 3 times for no reason, when he could have easily. Neither way, it's so hard to tell now because it says cutter, slider, curve. It felt like they were the same pitch, just like the speed changed slightly, but they were all the same pitch. So I don't know what pitch he throws, because for all we know, it could just be he throws 2 fastballs, a breaking ball, and a changeup, but they just keep changing the name of the breaking ball. So even then, he's still only a two-pitch pitcher. So yeah, the changeup's kind of what saved Leiter. I think it'll also save Rocker.
Yeah, I think the cutter is different. I do think the cutter is different. That because that the speed was very similar to the fastball. I do think the slider and curveball meld. Yeah, ultimately, I said a lot of stuff. I think if he adds the changeup and can effectively mix it with the other two pitches, then I think he's going to be good. Like in his last start, who did he face in his last start? I don't know. But his latest spring training start, he didn't throw any changeups, and I think that is the pitch that he needs to tie in there for everything else to work.
Yeah, I'm looking at like the spin type, bro. The cutter and the slider are literally the exact same. So I don't know where they're getting cutter slider from. This cutter has
Yeah,
slightly more backspin. So I
I
don't know
mean
where they're getting
the
their cutter
cutter's
from.
harder though, right? Like it's a 92, 93 cutter,
It's a
right?
90. It's like 4 miles per hour faster. I mean, yeah, that's speed
Yeah,
variance. But I'm saying I want like big speed variance because actually when he was good, I remember the start. I think it was against the White Sox. He was going fastball. I'm fine if he doesn't throw a changeup. If he's going to go fastball, cutter, slider, whatever you call it, and curveball, because that worked really well because it was a big speed change, and it worked really
yeah.
well because it worked really well in that start. But changeup's obviously very effective. But I'm saying if you're gonna throw that curveball, I don't mind it because the speed variance is so useful. I think. I mean, actually, the good thing is whenever he's in Mariners or T-Mobile Park, bro, his slider is nasty. The 2 times he's pitched in T-Mobile Park, his slider's been absolutely filthy. So, hey, if he pitches well against the Mariners, sign him, bro. Just make him start, bro, because we need someone.
Yeah. And like every time we saw Rocker last year, his bad starts, which basically every month that he pitched, he'd have one bad start. Um, it'd just be that he'd only throw fastballs and just no other pitch. It'd just be fastball sinker right down the pipe and hit it, and then the other team would just tee off. So he basically he needs to learn how to pitch, and um, I'm not convinced. I think he needs to truly prove it that he can mix his three pitches and he knows what he's doing on the mound to win it over Lats. I don't think Rocker should just get the fifth starter spot to make the bullpen better. And because Lats has been in the bullpen and he hasn't been that much of a difference maker in terms of late innings.
He's kind of just been like long relief, like blowout win, blowout loss. Just like give us some innings.
Yeah, he can be a good swing guy, but I think like I'd be in favor of putting Lax into the pen if he becomes like a late inning reliever, which I don't think he can. I don't think he has the stuff to be a late inning reliever. I think he has the stuff to be a really nice backhand starter or a swing guy. Um,
I mean, I like
s
him. He doesn't have the craziest stuff, but the way he locates is really good.
yeah, he had some issues with walks last year. That would be really his only issue, but otherwise he
Yeah.
was good. All right, now we're going to spring training standouts is what we're calling it. We got three hitters and three pitchers we're going to talk about, so I'll hand it off to you to talk about the hitters.
All right. So for the hitters, we got Sam Haggerty. So we we saw him last year. He was here in 25. Signed him, re-signed him this offseason. This he's really good. He's really good at hitting lefties. Struggled definitely against righties. Definitely struggled against righties. Um, but he was. I mean, he's continued to be really good against lefties. He's been crazy. I think he's hitting six something in this spring training, something like that. But he's hitting really good. There's not much to say about him. Just he hits good. He gets on base. He's probably going to lead off against lefties, but we don't know for sure. But he probably will because he was really good last year. Um, yeah, he's the type of guy we need in this lineup because I mean we talked about this in the last episode, but he's a guy who's just going to get on base and not try to chase homers, which it feels like a lot of people in this team try to chase homers. So he's one of those guys who's not going to do that. So that's really good.
My take on Sam Haggerty. During spring, I got the stats now. He's hitting 538 with a 1.4 OPS, so he's going off. Um, he's gonna hit lefties, and I think we didn't talk about this in the second base preview, but you think about the Red Sox, and they have like Romy Gonzalez and Rob Refsnyder, those kind of lefty mashers on their team, and they made like a big difference for that Red Sox squad making the playoffs. I think having Sam Haggerty for a full season can make a difference. Like we know how much this team has struggled against lefties, so to have a lefty masher like Haggerty just come on and be very solid against lefties, I think is going to make a huge difference.
Yeah. So also you got Tyler Wade. So obviously in the second base thing right now we have Josh Smith and Sam Haggerty. Smith for righties, Haggerty for lefties. Wade's another guy that could potentially fill that role because he's batting 600 like solid in spring training right now. Um, I like his at bats. His at bats look very professional because one thing I just noticed across the board, I've said this so many times, is people like they just look unprofessional. Like they don't know what they're doing. They don't look comfortable in the box. This guy's solid. He looks comfortable in the box and he looks like he's ready to hit. Uh, I just like his approach as well. So he's he's
So,
he's
yeah,
he's solid all around. So I'll give you your thoughts on that.
yeah, he's hitting 600. I think you already said that, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
said
he's
that.
hitting 600. But the thing that stands out to me about Wade is that he can hit. He's been hitting lefties. Like Schumacher's been throwing him out there against lefties, and he's actually been doing like a solid job against lefties. Um, why I think Wade has a good shot to make this roster is because I think the Rangers want someone that can play shortstop. I don't think they want to put Josh Smith at shortstop. Obviously, Corey Seager's going to have his off days, and there's a likelihood out there that he gets injured. Tap on wood.
It's not a
Um,
likelihood. It's a guarantee.
no, 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 it's not. We can't say guarantee for injuries, bro. There's a likelihood, but yeah. So I'd rather have. I think having Wade on this roster, where if Seager needs his off days, you can put him in at short. If Evan Carter, who's probably going to need off days, you can put him at center. And he's been very serviceable with the bat, and I ultimately think he's going to be serviceable with the bat, even if there's like a left-handed pitcher on the mound.
Yep. And then Cameron Cawley is the other guy for shortstop. If they need a shortstop, you got Cameron Cawley. Uh, he's only batting 333, which is not crazy compared to the rest of the guys, but he has again solid approach, not trying to chase homers and just putting the ball in play. That's what I like about like all three of these guys. They just try to put the ball in play, which is what I think this team needs in terms of an approach. Just put the ball in play, not try to chase homers. Let's just next because here's the thing in 23 that was different from 25. I think 23 was aggressive, but still next man up. Like yeah, they were aggressive, but they also weren't chasing homers. It was this next guy up mentality. They didn't really have that in the past 2 years. I think these guys can help with that mentality.
Yeah. Cam Cauley, he's been. I agree with what you said. But Cam Cauley is. I think he has the most amount of hard hit balls. I believe, or something like that. I believe he has the most hard hit balls. But in spring training, out of everyone, yeah, he's been hit. He's been smoking the ball. He hit a homer off of Logan Gilbert on a
Which is huge.
fastball down the middle. On a fastball, like the Logan Gilbert fastball has been a pitch that the Rangers have struggled against for the last how many years, and he hit a fastball. Like he smoked a fastball against Logan Gilbert. Obviously, he hasn't played in AAA, so I don't think he's going to make the opening day roster. I think the Rangers are going because last year Alejandro Zuna had an amazing spring training and he didn't make the opening day roster. Um, so I think Collie can be a fast riser, especially for how great of a defensive player he is. So yeah, we could see him play like 20 AAA games, crush it, and then get the call up.
Yeah, I mean that Logan Gilbert fastball thing is huge. That's a big thing.
All right, so now we are going to move on to three pitchers in this spring training standouts little stuff we're doing. I don't know, but we're talking about first guy is Carter Baumler, the Rule 5 pick who is currently slotted to make the bullpen. Obviously, it was when the Rangers acquired him, it was kind of a long shot for him to make this roster because he hasn't pitched in AAA. But seeing him pitch, he's got a really nasty curveball. That curveball's nasty.
Oh,
In the minors, he's been throwing strikes, um, and that's ultimately what the Rangers are going to have to see with him if he makes the big league team, which I think is very likely because with that curveball is so nasty. Um, and how that tunnels off his fastball and his slider, yeah, I think it really looks good. Um, Baumler hasn't allowed a run so far. Obviously, control is going to be what to look for. The Rangers. The reason why the Rangers have to go rebuild their pen by signing like 5 or 6 free agents for their pen every single time is because these AAA guys that they call up. Cole Winn was like the first exception. uh, they'll call up these AAA guys that have really nasty stuff, but they can't locate. And they can't pound the strike zone, and that's what Chris Young prioritizes. He prioritizes guys that pound the strike zone and play to that big globe life field. So I think Baumler he looks the part. And it's very exciting to see.
Yeah, don't got a lot of stats on Baumler, but yeah, his curveball it just drops out of the zone. It's really nasty. But yeah, he looks good.
Yep. So now we are going to move to Gavin Collier, which I'll be honest had not heard of him before the spring training, but then um, as like the bullpen started to get going, as pitchers and catchers report, we heard a lot about this guy that he's nasty. Last year had us didn't put up like impressive numbers in Double A or Triple A, but he's got fuel. He throws 100 miles an hour, 98, 99 miles an hour with a filthy cutter. He's kind of like a similar conversation to Baumler. I don't think it's likely that he makes this roster. Um, just I think the Rangers will probably want to see more control in AAA before making that call. But he is like a very high upside guy if he can just find the strike zone. I mean, with that stuff, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, kind of reminds you of Jacob Mizrowski. Not exactly, but kind of like that. But yeah, kind of. But yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
it's kind of different
yeah,
animals.
not really. Uh, he kind of yeah, because if one of these guys can step up and throw strikes and throw hard, then because this whole it's gonna be. I think the first 2 months are gonna be like the exact same as last year's first 2 months. We're just gonna be searching for a closer, like who's going to be the closer. I think they're just gonna have to do that because there's like no one really stepping up right now. So if someone can step up, that'd be good.
Yeah, Baumler and Collier definitely have shots to be a closer with just the insane stuff that they have.
Yeah, just
Um,
find the zone. Because I feel like that's the issue with D. Because that's the problem with Diaz. Diaz can't find the zone. So if Diaz can't find the zone, and these two can, and yeah, they'll definitely slot him in.
yeah, yeah, for sure. The last guy I have, we can throw out some other names if we want to, but Luis Curvelo. Now he had one outing where he gave up 2 runs. So the spring training stats, obviously the ERA is going to look up, but it's 3 outings. I think Curvelo's really nasty. Last year, short sample size. The ERA is not great, but he has great stuff. Like the way that he has a sinker and the slider tunnel off very well, and the changeup tunnels off very well. In his last outing, we actually saw him throw a lot of changeups, which I might be just like a changeup guy. I'm like obsessed with guys that throw their changeups a lot. Um, but yeah, Luis Carvello, he was throwing his changeup a lot, and he's kind of similar to the other guys as well. If he can throw all 3 of these pitches first strikes, he can be nasty. Honestly, there's like so many other pitchers that you can talk about in the same light. That if these guys have nasty stuff, you can go to like Emiliano Teodo, Mark Church, um, some other guys that I'm probably missing. All the starters that are in AAA, Winston Santos, Jose Corniel, all those guys. If they throw strikes, they're nasty.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Carvello. I like Carvello last year. I think he's not a good idea for a closer because I don't think he's a strikeout guy. For what I got last year, I think he's a ground ball pitcher. I don't really see him as like a strikeout guy. But he has nasty stuff, yeah. But like, I don't think, from what I saw, based on his sinker and his slider, it's more ground balls. That's pretty much what I saw last year. So I don't think he's closer material, but definitely a late inning guy. Kind of like Milner.
Yeah, I mean I think there's more upside there
There's definitely
for
upside, but
Carvalho.
I'm like just looking at his stuff and like the reactions I got that it got from hitters. It's definitely a ground ball pitcher. I don't think he has. He definitely has the stuff to get strikeouts, but I don't think it's like it's not a guarantee.
Yeah, I mean I think yeah for sure. I think if he incorporates the changeup and the slider and can figure out a way to mix it well off the sinker, I think he can be a strikeout guy.
I actually,
And he showed a lot of dog in him as well. Like
yeah,
remember against the Mariners, he had a really good
yeah, for
outing.
first time up in the majors, and he threw against the Mariners in the next running game,
Yeah,
big series. Um, yeah, but like his slider last year, he actually threw his slider the most. He threw his slider more than anything else. But it doesn't like sweep. It's more of like a just here and it just darts. So that's why I'm saying it's more of a ground ball slider than like an actual strikeout slider.
yeah, you could be right. Well, that is it. We talked about the fifth starter competition along with some spring training guys for the Rangers that have caught our eye. We hope you guys enjoyed it. We appreciate all the support, and we'll see you Saturday.